The best Nvidia graphics cards might not be the best for much longer, but on the plus side they are finally available at or around their MSRP. There are even a few that are not under MSRP, though these are usually the cards most likely to be replaced by something bigger and more performant in the near future. That said, whether you're after a frame-munching behemoth, or perhaps a slightly more wallet-friendly, budget graphics card, you're much more likely to find it in stock now. Number 1. Nvidia GeForce RTX 3080 10GB. The RTX 3080 delivers the best performance per dollar for a high-end gaming PC, for a little while longer at least, and we're only talking about the 10GB one, at its original MSRP. There's also the 12GB RTX 3080, though that is even more expensive still. I know, that is a lot of things to consider when buying a high-end GPU right now, and that's largely because we're on the verge of a new GPU generation, falling in the wake of a GPU shortage. Though if you do pick up the RTX 3080 today, it is a huge generational performance boost over the previous RTX 20 series. That's impressive when put up against either the RTX 2080 or 2080 Super. But when you consider that this nominally $699 card can not just match but massively outperform the $1,200 RTX 2080 Ti, it really hits home. The thing which really stands out from our testing is the difference it makes to ray tracing performance. The first generation of ray tracing capable cards requires such a huge frame rate sacrifice that most people shied away from turning it on. But that's no longer the case with this generation. Number 2. AMD Radeon RX 6800 XT. As a red team alternative to Nvidia's high-end graphics cards, there have been few finer than the RX 6800 XT, a highly competitive card that comes so close to its rival, with a nominal performance differential to the RTX 3080, is truly an enthusiast card worth consideration for any PC gamer with 4K in their sights. The RX 6800 XT was the first of AMD Radeon A2 GPU to enter the fray, and while we've had plenty of other cards since, this is the one that shines brighter than most and makes the most sense financially. At least it does if you consider its MSRP, and with AMD GPU returning to reasonable price levels quicker than Nvidia's, this could actually give the red team the edge in the short term. A key battleground for Nvidia and AMD this generation has been on the memory front, covering both bandwidth and capacity. The RX 6800 XT comes with 16GB of GDDR6 across a 256-bit bus for a total bandwidth of 512GB/s. That means AMD has Nvidia's 10GB RTX 3080 on the ropes in terms of capacity, but falls slightly behind in raw bandwidth to the RTX 3080 760GB/s. AMD has an ace up its sleeve in throughput terms in the form of its Infinity Cache, which bolsters the card's effective bandwidth considerably, some 1664 GB/s, by AMD making a 3.25x improvement over the RX 6800 XT raw bandwidth. In gaming terms, it means you're looking at similar performance, despite the very different underlying technologies. It's a tough call between the RX 6800 XT and the RTX 3080, but the latter pips AMD to the post with the final touches a la RTX. The RX 6800 XT is $50 cheaper, delivers high 4K performance, and a hefty VRAM increase over the RTX 3080. However, it's easy to argue that an extra $50 dropped on the RTX 3080 is money well spent, a small price to pay for greater 4K performance, much improved ray tracing, and DLSS. All are available today and with years of developer support in the bank. That said, AMD Fidelity FX Super Resolution has gained considerable momentum among developers and offers solid upscaling that's worth enabling in supported games. The introduction of FSR 2.0 in Deathloop opens a new tab, offers a tantalizing glimpse of what the future holds too. The RX 6800 XT leaves AMD in an incredibly strong position going forward, delivering what is required to get the entire industry to take notice, and with a strong proposition to offer gamers instantly at launch. And it's no surprise to hear the cooperation between Zen and Radeon engineers had a part to play in all this, too. Number 3. Nvidia GeForce RTX 3060 Ti. The best value ampere to date. The RTX 3060 Ti is very closely related to the RTX 3070. Both utilize the same GA104 GPU. The RTX 3060 Ti has fewer SM enabled, with the same 8GB of GDDR6 memory across a 256-bit bus, while 17% less capable in core count than its pricier sibling. The RTX 3060 Ti makes up for it with some judicious GPU boost frequencies. That partially explains why the RTX 3060 Ti can be within 17% to just single digits off the pace of the RTX 3070, despite operating at a silicon disadvantage. Not bad for a $399 card, if you can find it for that price. If you haven't already done the maths, at $399, the RTX 3060 Ti is 20% cheaper than the RTX 3070, so performance per dollar is on the up with the diminutive graphics card. That's why we love it so. It's a great GPU for the full stack of resolutions and has decent ray tracing capability to boot, courtesy of second-generation RT cores. The RTX 3060 Ti delivers gaming performance that's rather stupendous when you look at generational gains over even the RTX 20 series next to the GTX 10 series. It's quite frightening, actually. There's exceptional 1008 and 1440 performance in a tiny package here, the likes of which would have set you back something close to twice as much cash a couple of years ago, and that's pretty great. Number 4. Nvidia GeForce RTX 3070. Perhaps the only high-end Ampere that's anything close to reasonably affordable. The RTX 3070 is also impressive for its ability to match the top-string tiering graphics card, the RTX 2080 Ti, for less than half of its price tag. Sure, it's not exactly a cheap graphics card, but the RTX 3070 is bringing ultra-enthusiast gaming performance down into a far more palatable price point, and it's also making high-end ray tracing and 4K gaming relevant to a much wider sector of the audience too. At $499, it's still a significant sum by any means. We're talking next-gen console equivalent pricing here, but it's hardly an exorbitant sum when compared to PC gaming's top graphics silicon today. In return, you're gifted a 4K capable graphics card that doesn't require too much fiddling to reach playable, if not high, frame rates, and it'll absolutely smash it at 1440. No question about that. The RTX 3070 Founders Edition is still sporting the 12-pin power connector of the RTX 3080, and therefore it comes with a single 8-pin to 12-pin adapter in the packaging. Nvidia has once more delivered a super compact PCB with this FE card, however, which makes the whole shroud far smaller than the RTX 3080. Despite coming with two front-loaded fans, the spinner at the tail of the card is there to amplify the airflow across the heat pipes, and that does seem to aid the cooling performance of this smart little GPU. The RTX 3070 also offers up Nvidia's reliable driver stack, the GeForce Experience app, Shadowplay's recording, and the new broadcast suite. The impressive reflex latency spiking opens a new tab setup, and the latent potential of RTX I/O opens a new tab, bringing the next-gen console's most potent feature to the PC. And of course, you have ray tracing and the ever-improving DLSS enhancements. That's a lot to add on to the impressive raw performance that the RTX 3070 offers, and it does make a difference to a lot of people. Number 5. AMD Radeon RX 6900 XT. The RTX 3090 may have sat unchallenged at the top rungs of graphics performance at launch, but it wouldn't be long until AMD wrestled together a challenger in the RX 6900 XT, or Big Navi. The RX 6900 XT hopes to knock Ampere's finest from its perch on high and send it spiraling back down to earth, and it gets kind of close, too, with 4K performance a little off the pace of the RTX 3090 and all for 1/3 off the asking price. For that reason, it's simply the better buy for any PC gamer without any ulterior motives of the pro creator variety. But there's a reason it's not number 1 in our graphics card guide today, and that's simply due to the fact it's not that much better than an RTX 3080, and sometimes not at all. It's another $300 on top of the RTX 3080's recommended price tag, and you'd hope for higher performance in both RAS drives and ray tracing workloads. Yet, inevitably its ray tracing acceleration lags behind the competition. Even within AMD lineup, there's no pressing argument to pick this up over more affordable offerings, with a $350 price premium over the RX 6800 XT. The RX 6900 XT offers little return on your sizable investment. The RX 6900 XT is 53% more expensive than the RX 6800 XT, yet offers just 5.25% more performance in games. That's why it's strange that AMD is making a point of the RX 6900 XT being a card built for gaming first. Even Nvidia didn't make that mistake. billing the RTX 3090 as a pro creator card with a substantial increase in memory capacity over the second-run gaming card below to help justify the cost. Number 6. Nvidia GeForce RTX 3080 Ti. The RTX 3080 Ti is the mightiest GeForce graphics card that Nvidia makes. That accolade originally went to the RTX 3090 by a hair, and was more recently claimed by the RTX 3090 Ti. Opens in new TED. Though when all is said and benchmarked, it is the uber high-end RTX 3080 Ti that we'd recommend to any PC gamer looking to go all out on their next build. The arrival of Ampere generation did a lot to diminish the awkwardness or fiddly nature of 4K gaming, but the RTX 3080 Ti truly squashes it. Setting up for high-performance 4K gaming remains a pricey investment, but you need to be as cautious as we once had to be on a game-by-game basis. You can relatively comfortably set your game to high or ultra settings and get comfortable, even high, frame rates at 4K. The last thing you want when gaming at 4K is to turn down graphics quality settings, and with the RTX 3080 Ti you shouldn't have to nearly as much as we've come to expect at 3840x 2160. The RTX 3080 Ti tends to fall a little behind the RTX 3090, although it appears the more expensive card only sees marginal benefit for an increase in core counts and memory. The RTX 3080 Ti is only single percentage points off the pace. With performance close to the RTX 3090 at 4K, the RTX 3080 Ti is as much a gaming graphics card as its progenitor. With a vast bounty of CUDA cores and speedy GDDR6X memory, this card demolishes any game you can throw at it with relative ease. It's also more than capable of real-time ray tracing, courtesy of ADRT cores. So, hope you enjoyed our video and subscribe to the channel. We have also put links to the description, make sure you have check it out. We will be right there in next video. Take care, bye.